All right, let's just jump right in. We are constantly swimming in this ocean of signals. I mean, some are simple, some are incredibly profound, and some are just plain weird.
Think about it. From a casual chat with a friend to the faint echoes of a black hole collision billions of light years away, we're just bombarded with information. So how do our brains actually take all of that raw data and turn it into something that makes sense? How do we build a reality we can navigate?
Well, the secret isn't just in the signals themselves. It's really in the frameworks we create to decode them. Things like language, media, science, even belief. These are all systems. They're instruments we've designed to filter, translate, and give meaning to the world. And today, we're going to explore a few of them.
Okay, so let's start with the most fundamental system we all share, language. It feels so natural, right? But the way we've actually structured it is incredibly specific. And yeah, sometimes it's a little bit messy.
As the Mad Hatter pointed out in this amazing old Bell Labs film, it is super easy to get tangled up in words. He actually started a conspiracy to get rid of them. But what if the problem isn't the words at all? What if it's the system we use to write them down? So, according to linguists, the alphabet is a huge source of our confusion. It's kind of clunky, it's inconsistent, and it's not a great representation of what's really happening. The true foundation of language, the real building blocks, are the basic units of sound we call phonemes. And here's what's just amazing, the efficiency of it all. The entire complex English language, with its hundreds of thousands of words, is built from just 45 of these foundational sounds. That's it. Every single word you've ever spoken is just a different combination of those same 45 phonemes.
And of course, we humans have created systems that don't even need vocal sounds. In the Canary Islands, people developed a whistling language to communicate across massive gorges. In the Congo, tribes use drums to send messages based on the rhythm of syllables. And on the North American plains, different tribes used a super sophisticated sign language to talk to each other. The point is, our drive to communicate is so powerful, we'll build a system out of pretty much anything.
So, if language is this sort of natural system, what about the technological systems we've built on top of it? How do new tools for communication actually change the way we see the world?
The brilliant media theorist Marshall McLuhan had this fascinating idea he called the rearview mirror effect. He said that whenever a powerful new technology shows up, we're totally blind to its real impact. We literally can't see the new world it's creating. Instead, all we can see is the old world, perfectly framed in its rearview mirror.
Just think about the early days of television. What was on? Shows like Bonanza. McLuhan pointed out that this was basically a 19th century myth, the whole cowboy frontier thing being broadcast into a brand new 20th century suburban home. We were so busy looking backward at the old myth of the West that we completely missed the revolutionary new environment TV was building all around us.
And for McLuhan, this wasn't an accident. In an electronic age when we're just flooded with signals and information, our natural response is to create myths. Now, he didn't mean myths as in lies, but myths as an instant way of grabbing onto a complex situation, a pattern that helps us cope with the overload.
But what happens when the signals we get just don't fit into our neat little systems? When we run into something that defies an easy explanation. This is where we start to build systems of belief, and we're going to use the phenomenon of UFOs as a quick case study here.
Now, as religious studies professor Diana Pasulka says, our goal here isn't to ask, are UFOs real? For this explainer, that's kind of the wrong question. The much more interesting question is, what can we learn by looking at the belief systems that have grown up around these unexplained signals?
Let's take the classic Roswell incident from 1947. Here, you have two completely different systems for interpreting the exact same event. The official signal from the government was, hey, it was a weather balloon. Simple. But a competing signal from supposed insiders and witnesses claimed it was an alien spacecraft, complete with extraterrestrial bodies. So you have two signals, two totally different belief systems, but only one event.
Now, let's contrast that with a completely different system for interpreting signals from the unknown: science. Interferometry is a technique that uses the behavior of waves to make unbelievably precise measurements. It's not based on what someone says they saw or what they believe. It's a system designed from the ground up to detect objective, repeatable signals from the universe.
And that contrast between belief and hard measurement brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. It's not just about small-scale systems anymore. Today, we're building these massive, incredibly powerful instruments that interface with reality itself, but they do it in fundamentally opposite ways.
See,
One type of instrument is designed to listen to reality, to decode the signals the universe is already sending out. The other type? It's designed to impose a new signal onto reality, to actively reshape the world according to a pre-written plan.
And this slide just illustrates the contrast brilliantly. On one side, you've got LISA, the Laser Interferometer Space Antenna. Its entire goal is to listen for the absolute faintest gravitational waves so we can better understand the universe as it is. Its output is data. On the other side, you've got Project 2025, which is a massive policy document from a conservative think tank. Its goal is to create a plan to restructure the US government, to shape society into what its authors believe it ought to be. Its output isn't data, it's a new social reality. One listens, the other transmits.
So, we have these incredibly powerful systems, from language and media to science and politics, and they're all designed to help us make sense of the world. But what if these systems have blind spots?
You know, this is a very old concern. Back in ancient Greece, Socrates was really wary of the new technology of writing. He worried that by relying on this new system of packaged text, people would lose their connection to the older, more dynamic oral tradition. That in gaining one ability, they might actually lose another.
And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. Our modern systems for decoding and shaping reality are more powerful than anything Socrates could have possibly imagined. But are we like him standing at a kind of technological crossroads? In building these incredible instruments to focus on very specific signals, what other vital whispers from the universe are we maybe no longer even able to hear?